Who is all coming with updates to Silverstone? Part 1. McLaren just announced that it will bring a big update to Silverstone. The team out of Woking, England isn't the only team that will bring an upgrade package to Silverstone to try and close the gap with the top teams. Alpine, Mercedes, Aston Martin, and more than likely Red Bull will all bring significant upgrade packages to find extra pace on track. After watching this video, you will know what type of updates the teams will bring and what it will gain them on track. Before you continue, please hit the like and subscribe button. You definitely want to do this time, as I will give away the brand new Formula 1 Race Game 2022 to someone who liked and subscribed to this video. Let's get into it. Silverstone is the home circuit of many Formula 1 teams. The only teams that aren't stationed in the UK are Ferrari, Alfa Romeo, and Alpha Tauri. All the other teams have their base and development centers in the UK. This makes Silverstone the perfect track to bring upgrades to, as it is easy to replace a broken front wing or other parts in case it's needed. As you probably have heard in the news many times, all teams now have to stay within the budget cap or penalties will follow. Since Silverstone is so close to the factories of the teams, it makes logistics and bringing upgrades much cheaper. But there is another reason why Silverstone is the perfect track to bring any new components. Silverstone is a real racer's track that offers high-speed corners mixed with a couple slower parts and therefore is a real all-around track. After the first 9 races, the teams have gathered much data to know how their car performs in slow, mid, and fast-speed corners. Bringing upgrades to Silverstone is the perfect way to see whether the new components made the car faster on all levels. The new 2022 cars are so different in design and downforce production that Silverstone can be a great place to gather much-needed data to further continue to develop the team's cars. Now that you know why Silverstone is the ultimate place to bring upgrades, let's introduce the teams that have already confirmed to bring new components. 1. McLaren. McLaren has had a rough start to the season. The last couple seasons, McLaren had a competitive car, and if it wasn't for the rain in Russia last year, Lando Norris would finally have won a Formula 1 race. With multiple podiums and a 4th place in the Constructors' Championship, the team finally hoped it could build a car that is capable of winning races. Zak Brown and his team are therefore disappointed to the start of this season, but hope arises with the new parts coming. Rumors have spread that McLaren will bring a new floor and a new rear wing. The Formula 1 floor is of particular interest this year, as teams can finally use the floor to generate extra downforce. Whereas in the previous years a Formula 1 floor had to be flat, they can now use the floors to create the Venturi effect. This Venturi effect creates a vacuum under the car as the car speeds up, sucking the car to the ground. The new update aims to streamline the wind flow under the floor to create a bigger vacuum effect, creating more downforce. This should allow McLaren to go faster in the corners. The rear wing update should bring McLaren closer in overall top speed with Alpine. McLaren was notorious for its straight-line speed last year, but with the extra biofuel added this year and the introduction of the new car regulations, McLaren lost its top spot as straight-line king. It seems that this is more of a Mercedes engine problem than design problem, but McLaren hopes that by bringing a new rear wing design, they can somewhat challenge Alpine's straight-line speed. The new rear wing should reduce drag and minimize downforce loss. 2. Alpine. Fernando Alonso is certainly showing that he is still a great driver, and many wonder how it has been possible for him to only win 2 drivers' championships. However, Alpine hasn't given him a reliable and consistent fast car. But they hope that the upcoming updates are giving Fernando a car to consistently fight with at least Mercedes. Alpine has been notorious for its straight-line speed this year and has topped all top speeds with Red Bull. However, where Red Bull is also strong in the corners, Alpine loses much time. Silverstone will be the 6th track Alpine is bringing an upgrade to this year. In Canada, Alpine focused on aerodynamic efficiency. It is expected that Alpine continues to increase aerodynamic efficiency in Silverstone and add extra downforce through a new floor. Teams are more limited to design freely. However, the floor of the F1 cars leaves the most room for new interpretations, and with 2/3 of the downforce now being produced by the floor, many teams, including Alpine, are trying to find extra downforce by streamlining the airflow under the car. 3. Aston Martin. Will Aston Martin shock the Formula 1 race world again with its upgrades? A couple races ago, Aston Martin completely changed its concept to mimic Red Bull in design. Many were afraid that Aston Martin had access to inside information, but it was soon evident that the Aston Martin was no Red Bull in terms of race pace. However, Aston Martin does seem to move forward slowly. Vettel was seen as a contender for Q3 in Canada, but he completely failed to even move up into Q2 after a timing mistake of his team. However, in the race, both Stroll and Vettel moved up from the field. Aston Martin hopes by bringing another massive update, the team will consistently fight for at least a top 7 place. Rumors say that also Aston Martin will bring a new floor, but will bring a new front wing and make some suspension changes. This should make the car more stable in corners, while the new front wing should allow Vettel and Stroll to easier rotate the front of the car. They hope it would gain them up to 0.3 of a second. 4. Mercedes. Mercedes has been struggling all year round to get the car to work well. The most notorious problem is their porpoising. After many complaints and political games, the FIA will introduce stricter rules to prevent porpoising from happening. Where the car heavily porpoised during the free practice sessions in Canada, it seemed like the car was doing better on Sunday during the race. With Hamilton and Russell securing a 3rd and 4th place, it was their best performance this season after the season opener in Bahrain. However, Mercedes knows it needs to further develop their car to close the gap to Red Bull and Ferrari. Mercedes announced more upgrades for Silverstone. Expected is that Mercedes brings extra stabilizers to prevent the floor from bouncing on the floor. They already introduced a new floor in Canada, and it is likely that they will bring updates to let that floor work more efficiently. Insiders also said that Mercedes is bringing a new front and rear wing to rotate the car better in corners and allows for faster top speeds. Where Mercedes was once dominant on the straights, it now completely lost that position to Alpine and Red Bull. 5. Red Bull. Red Bull is an interesting one, as they are very secretive as to how large their upgrade package will be. However, it has long been announced that Red Bull would bring an upgrade package to Silverstone. Their last major upgrade package was in Imola, and ever since, Red Bull has been optimizing their package and trying to reduce the overall weight. It is likely that Red Bull brings more weight-reducing components to close the 5-kilo gap between Red Bull and Ferrari. This alone should increase race pace by 1.5 tenths. While dominating straight-line speed, Red Bull wants to further increase its aerodynamic efficiency and downforce levels. A new type of floor and front wing are expected. Many teams are bringing large updates to Silverstone. Not all updates work as well, so it is waiting which updates work and which doesn't. Who do you think will bring the best upgrades to Silverstone? Let us know in the comments section below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to The Racing Guru.